Stick Movement. What's good? It's your boy King James 23. You ever wonder why it was so hard for you to motivate yourself to do your own kind of research or dig into a subject? You ever wonder why, when somebody, I'm gonna speak for myself, when like somebody sends me a video and I'm like, oh man, even though I know I'm gonna learn something, just taking the time out to do it. And I thought, why do I feel like that? Why is it so stressful to educate yourself and to dig deeper in the subject? It's because for the first time we're thinking for ourselves, and we're not accustomed to that. Like, if you think about it, our education system is based on memorization alone. For example, your daily routine in a class would be you go into class, you memorize a lecture, they give you a book, you memorize that section for that upcoming test, and if you memorize those exact questions or the way and the format it's given to you, you can pass the test. You can go through years of English and social studies by just memorization and never learning anything. And the same goes with math. Even though you have to build on what you learned before, it's still, if you still just memorize this section, then you can pass the test. But how many times have you asked your teacher, back when you were in high school, because I can't talk, I haven't been in college yet, which is another subject, but how many times have you asked your teacher, when are we ever going to use this in our adult life? And it baffles me how, for the majority of Americans, the number one problem is debt and financial management. And all throughout your education, through high school, through middle school, through elementary school, they never teach you how to manage money, or they never teach you how about interest and the best deals to pick and all this stuff. It's only until you go to college that you have to take a certain class to learn how to manage your money and stay out of debt. And even in doing that, you're going into debt because when you go to college, you get loans. Well, the majority of Americans, as I said, you get loans, and they already put you in debt. So if you want to think outside the box, if you want to think out for yourself, you either have to be in debt or you're called crazy. Now let me tell you what I mean when they say you're crazy. Conspiracy theories. Now, when I think of the word conspiracy theory, and I think of the people that tell those conspiracy theories, me personally, I think of a crazy hobo on the street that's drunk, that's just talking crazy, and we gotta overtake the government and all this stuff. And it's such a negative image you get when you think of a conspiracy theory. But all a conspiracy theory is thinking outside of the government. Because if you look at all the situations that are going on, and it's fact, anything that is fact is real talk. I'm kind of mixing my words, but it's real talk. So why would somebody say you're crazy if you're talking facts? The government set it up to where you think negatively about a conspiracy theory. And I thought it funny when I receive these videos and I look deeper into a subject, when I look deeper into 9/11, and I think about the conspiracy theories said about those things, and when you really start to dig into those theories, you have so many videos, you have so many answers you can get to answer your questions. But if you ask anybody outside of what we're doing about 9/11 or Osama bin Laden or the HR 1955, they look at you puzzled because they don't know what you're talking about, because they're not thinking for themselves either, and not purposely, because we've been accustomed to getting what we learn given to us. They put it in our faces and they say, learn that. For example, Black history. The first thing you think about when Black history is slavery. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we started from when we was on that continent and taken over here. We never learned about what our lives were like when we were in Africa. And if you do, if somebody says, well, wait a second, I want to know how our culture was. You know, I want to know about, even if you're white, I want to know about the black culture before slavery. Then all of a sudden you're pro-black. All of a sudden they put a stamp on you saying, you know, and you get, I know anybody that's not black, you get a somewhat negative image of a person that is pro-black. So why is that? And why anything you read or anything that's given to you in the education system is from the government's perspective. Just like, of course, when the Pilgrims came over here into America and took the land, we have Thanksgiving. You ask any Indian, I don't know any Indian that celebrates Thanksgiving. You know why? Because the reality of it is they came over here, and just like I said, they took the land. It wasn't no compromise. It wasn't, well, can we just be in with y'all people? Can we mix with y'all people? No, they took it out. And that's the reality of it. And then we celebrate it to be like, to get people to think that it was a joyous occasion or a cheerful event. It wasn't. And me saying that, now that's a conspiracy. Now that's a conspiracy theory. So now that's a negative thing now. You see what I mean? Think for yourselves. Think outside the box. When you see me put up these links, go look at it. It might be hard because you're not accustomed to actually researching things for yourselves and researching something that's not given to you. But it'll educate you and it'll open your eyes, and finally you can think for yourselves. It's your boy King James 23. Holla.